weird stacked situation.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that.
That's intense. Wait, I want to see your point of view.
Stacked monitors. I feel like he looks like one of
Dude,
those
you look like you're
movie
working at
hackers.
NASA.
He's a hacker, like a movie hacker.
Yeah, you look like you're in a dark hacking world in the dark web.
Just wall-to-wall monitors. They all they're running like green code.
Yeah. You're the Matrix.
Hi! Hey guys! Welcome. I'm Abby.
And I'm Shawna.
And this is Anxious.
And Afraid.
It is. It's the podcast.
We're back.
We're back.
And apparently we're the Matrix now.
Yep. We are joined by Neo, not Nero, like I said on accident. Yeah, Michael's like got a really high-tech setup now.
It's like a large pole with monitors.
Yeah.
Like curved, fancy monitors.
You could dance on that pole.
I was going to say, I was already going stripper vibes. Like,
Yeah.
But for computers. Stupid.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to this.
Welcome. We had to do a little delay because guess what?
Yeah. I had my child turn 2. I have a 2-year-old toddler. The terrible 2s are happening.
They are upon us.
I'm not sure they're so terrible, but I mean, definitely 100% toddler.
You just fucked yourself.
I did.
You shouldn't have said that.
I jinxed it.
It's going to be hell from here.
She's definitely a handful. Yep. But the party was great. We had a fun time.
It was so fun. There was a bunch of kids. They
It was
all
a pretty day.
were having a good time.
Yeah, it's always nice to see everyone come together for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
what we did.
May or may not have gotten sick, but
Oh yeah, it was probably from that, wasn't it?
it
Usually.
probably, I was thinking one of these kids' parties is going to take us down.
For sure.
There's just no way around it.
Somebody's gonna go down.
I honestly, no one got sick that I know of after Theo's party. And I was like, well, that was some kind of a miracle because we are right in the middle of flu season and kids are gross.
Yeah. And then I came in hot a month later, and I was like, you know what? We're doing this again.
Yeah. We're just going to roll the dice.
We're gonna keep doing kids'
For the rest
birthday
of our
parties.
lives. It's going to be that way.
Honestly, our lives are kids' birthday parties now.
Yeah. It is like heavy for socializing for me. Like it's at the kids' parties.
Mm-hmm.
But,
For sure.
that's fine. So that I guess that's what made me kind of anxious. Everyone got sick after that this week. But
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, could have been worse. I wasn't like deathly ill or anything.
Good.
And Theo didn't get sick, but he is teething. Again, I swear. He's
growing those teeth.
He gets 2 teeth at a time. He never goes. He's not a one and done kid. He's just like every time it will be 2 at the exact same time. Which I don't know if that's better or worse, but
I mean, is it? I mean, it's all sucky
Yeah.
and painful.
it's double the misery, but
Yeah.
then it's not like
Then you maybe get over it half the time.
yeah, then you're not in it as long. I don't know. But what made you anxious or afraid this week?
Abigail.
Oh, formal.
I know.
I can't do that with you. I'm like Shawna.
Yeah, I'm not a formal
Shawna
name.
Marie.
Yeah, you got to do the full name. There you
Yeah.
go. But yeah, I had the craziest week of my life. Actually, wasn't expecting that. I mean, I don't know how much to talk about, but I think I'm buying a house. So that's really.
I think you did buy a house.
I think I actually already did.
I think you legally signed documents.
My brain is still catching up, and I'm just not comprehending what's happening.
I mean, fair, because it was within a very short amount of time that everyone was like, wait, what's happening?
Stupid short amount of time, and I am fully aware of how crazy it is, but we're doing it.
But here we are.
And it's
It's a beautiful house too.
I mean, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna think all the positive things. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge deal. It's your first house.
It's a big moment. That's
We're
very
like-
sure. I never thought it was possible. Honestly, never, ever thought it was possible. And then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks ago, it was possible. And so then we were like, okay, what does it look like? And then we did. And then we have it on the house. And then we did the papers. And I'm like, what? It keeps going. What's happening?
I feel like it's just that doesn't usually happen for
No.
people. Like they have to look for months and months and months before they find anything that works.
Yeah, it's been too smooth of a process. I was like, this is not how people talk about my house. Like, usually they're just so, I mean, don't get me wrong. We just started and it is stressful and overwhelming. But yeah, I mean, it was just a fast find. So we went for it and here we are.
It's crazy.
Yes.
But very excited.
I'm speechless.
We're excited.
Thank you.
And then you're also going to go to Mexico. So you're just insane.
Okay, it's not even the end of February yet, and I've had a fucking year. Okay, like I'm spent. Yeah, yeah, we're going to Mexico in a couple weeks, and we're flying with a toddler. That's scary.
That's terrifying.
I'm gonna confront my fear of being on a plane after all these plane stories we've talked about.
No,
but hopefully we're gonna be fine once we get there, and it's gonna be a great trip.
Yes, it is. You're going to have fun. You're going to have drinks. You're going to have a beach and the ocean.
I'm trying to take this good because I've had a lot of bad recently. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to live.
Maybe the universe is just throwing you a bone. They're just
the universe is throwing me like for a roller coaster ride, like multiple loops. I am about to throw up.
Anyways, which would be fair. Because that is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for you guys. I think I am going to just live at your house because it looks like it's
honestly
so nice.
I want everyone to live at that house.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. And you have like a yard, and wow,
yeah,
it's just gonna be so different.
I mean, we are outgrowing our space. The very quickly Rylan is growing, and so yeah.
Now she'll have her own room.
Her. She's gonna have her own room. She's gonna have her own like little private yard.
Oh,
I always think of her. I'm just like, oh, you're gonna like grow up here.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
be good. Anyway. I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, that was a lot already.
We were going to say that we are, because Shawna is leaving for Mexico, we're going to do another recording next weekend. So I think it'll be like 2 episodes 2 weeks in a row as opposed to every other week this month.
Yeah, like our goal is to be every other week. But at least we're still getting 2 episodes out a month. They're just coming out
in a weird order.
Yeah, one after the other a little bit. Yeah, things are still a little wonky, but we'll get the hang of it.
Yeah,
we will.
There's just been a lot going on.
Maybe we won't because I'm about to move, but we will.
I know, God. What a mess we are. Okay. Anyway, do you want to go? You want to start?
Yeah, I got a story for you.
Oh, okay.
I am excited for this one. I liked that you did... Like you went back to the Titanic with your episode, and it was like a big name. And I was like, you know what? I want to do another big name episode. And sometimes what I like to do is I'll just like watch my shows or whatever. And if something pops up on the TV casually, I'll be like, maybe that can turn into an episode.
Sure.
And that happened because I was finishing the 2nd season of Loki, as I've been kind of mentioning here, which you didn't watch, right?
No.
Good. Michael, don't give it away if you figure out the clues I'm about to give. So,
what? Why would Michael know?
Because he watched Loki.
Okay.
Anyways, calm down.
Okay.
I'm building it up. Let me do it.
Build away, Bob.
Okay. So I was watching that, and they referenced this historical moment in time that I was like, I do remember casually writing that on my Post-it note like a few months ago. Maybe this is my sign to do it. And so I do it. I'm doing it. And here we are.
Okay.
And so I think it'll be fun. It is also known as The Rock. And sadly, we're not talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Okay, that would be a weird episode.
I wish we were, because who doesn't love him?
Right.
But this place is also referenced as The Rock.
The Rock.
Do you have any guesses?
One singular rock? I was like,
yeah. Michael, do you know?
Yeah.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm proud.
He's using his other monitor to Google things right now.
He's matrixing it up.
He's matrixing as we speak. The Rock.
Really? No, it's not coming to you.
I mean, is it like supposed to be paranormal? I'm trying to figure out what genre we're looking at.
Once I tell you, I'm not going to tell you the direction I'm going to go with it quite yet. But
okay, because I was like, immediately I was like, what, like Stonehenge or? But that's multiple rocks.
That is multiple rocks.
Okay, I don't know yet.
Alcatraz.
Oh, okay. I have. Okay, now that you say that, that's ringing a bell as The Rock. Ooh, okay.
Oh my God, that's a big one, right?
It is, and it's like haunted and all kinds of history.
So I'm going to kind of focus on one particular story of Alcatraz. We can definitely do second episode. You can do an episode. There's, lots of Alcatraz stories.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, because if you're going for the prison side of it, or after for the ghost part of it,
sure.
It's content all over the place.
Content all over the place. Well, I'm giving you a portion of this content. Okay, so Alcatraz is a tiny rock island 1.25 miles or 2.01 kilometers off the shore of San Francisco, California.
Right.
Which I have been. I have seen Alcatraz the distance, but we never did go on the tour, and I really would love to go on the tour.
I want to go too.
I think we can actually make this happen one day for us.
It's just a state away.
It's on our side. It's on the West Coast, so it's doable. Hold on. My computer won't move. I've been having technical problems lately. Okay, we're back in biz. Michael the Matrix, help me.
Nero again.
You did it again.
Neo to the rescue.
Okay. So, let me just continue on with this bullet.
Okay.
The very first record of the island was made in 1775 and was named Isla de los Alcatraces. Alcatraces?
Beautiful.
It's Spanish. I'm sorry, everyone. But that translates to the island of the pelicans.
Oh.
Over the years, people would shorten it. It's a little difficult to say that, obviously, as I demonstrated. But that's kind of how it turned into the word it is today, and we just call it Alcatraz.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it came to be named.
Gotcha.
The island was first developed in the mid-19th century when they built the very first lighthouse on the West Coast on it.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
And I love a lighthouse.
And it's the oldest one on the West Coast.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then it became home to a military fort and military prison.
Not as fun. Okay.
Not as cute. And
Want.
Then in 1934, it was converted into a federally owned prison, formerly known as Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary.
Even more fun.
So much fun.
God.
This is when Alcatraz started to become one of the most notorious prisons in U.S. history.
Probably not for anything good.
It's not like it's pretty over there.
No, it's like a barren rock, right? There's not a lot going on.
It's just all rock and concrete.
Yeah. Yikes.
Bad news. Yes. Okay. So this prison, this is where the worst of the worst was sent to. Okay. So some of the most famous inmates Alcatraz had includes Al Capone.
Okay. I knew that one.
George Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh.
And Whitey Bulger.
Yikes.
And there is more. But yeah, they ain't playing games there.
Bunch of mob dudes.
And it's kind of similar to the Titanic being known as unsinkable. Alcatraz was kind of known for being inescapable. Besides the prison itself, it's also surrounded by cold, choppy water, dense fog, and it is the ocean after all, so there are occasional sharks that might be hunting for prey. Yikes. Around the bay.
Yeah, not a good
that part of San Francisco, like it's chilly, and that bay is like known for being choppy and
and really foggy.
So foggy. Like that that's a very dark, scary, dangerous area.
When I did the ghost blimp, it was in that same area, and they talked about the fog and everything.
Yeah, the fog gets crazy there.
Yeah, that's where the blimp, they think that the guys fell into the ocean there. So, yeah,
that makes sense.
Crazy.
Okay. So, during its years in operation, there was a total of 36 prisoners who made 14 attempted escapes. 23 were caught alive. 6 were shot and killed. 2 definitely drowned. And 5 went missing and have been presumed dead by drowning.
Yikes.
We are here to discuss 3 of those 5 men.
Because
in their case, they could have possibly escaped successfully. And in one of America's biggest mysteries to this day.
I think I've heard of this story for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
going to be good.
It's the 1962 Great Escape of Alcatraz.
There's probably movies about it.
Oh, yes. I didn't watch any, but
there's got to be.
There's definitely a lot of documentaries and some movies and stuff. So here we go.
Okay.
So it's Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin. They are the three scoundrels that pulled off one of the most clever and intricate escapes of all time.
Yeah.
Like, so clever.
I didn't realize it was two brothers.
Yes, they're related. And Clarence is the hot one, in my opinion.
Okay.
Not John.
Clarence is the hot one. Sorry, John.
Okay, so a little backstory on these guys. Frank Morris went to prison being convicted of drug possession, armed robbery, car theft, and bank robbery. Once in prison, he also made multiple attempts to escape. And he actually did one time. He was then caught a year later doing another burglary.
Wait, he escaped Alcatraz or he's...
No.
Oh, okay.
Just like his prison in like one of the states.
Okay.
But he did successfully escape a prison once.
Dang. I feel like it was a little easier though back in the day.
Oh, probably.
But still, I mean, still impressive.
It takes guts and smarts and
then just right
balls.
back at it. Like
right back at it.
He's like, what else am I going to do?
So it was just a year of that. And once they caught him again, then they're like, yeah, you're going to Alcatraz.
Ooh.
And he was sent there January of 1960.
It seems kind of harsh for the crimes. It's not like he murdered anyone, but I guess he's a flight risk, so putting him where he can't escape. Well,
they thought people are harsh.
Yeah.
The system isn't great.
No.
Or makes sense. Yes. Okay. So yeah, because I remember like thinking some of their sentences was like, really not like murder gets less than that. Like,
I
like
can't
a
even
bank
with our
robbery.
legal system.
It's
You're
very
like,
odd.
oh, that guy murdered someone and got out after like less than a decade. But if you sold marijuana, you could be in for life. It's just like ridiculous.
Ridiculous. John and Clarence Anglin were only a year apart, so they became very close brothers. They were actually like there was 14 kids. They have 12 siblings.
Jesus.
It was a lot. And as teenagers, they began committing crimes together as a little team, a little duo.
Brotherly bonding.
They would also commit crimes of bank robbery and burglary, but they would normally burglarize like business establishments.
Okay.
And they always made sure to never commit crimes armed. They never wanted to carry a weapon.
Interesting.
So they were like kind of considerate, you know?
The most considerate burglars you've ever heard of. And one of them's hot, so.
One of them's hot. They both got themselves into prison, and while inside, they also both made multiple attempts to escape said prisons, and so they too were eventually sent to Alcatraz. I believe it was John that was sent first in 1960, and Clarence followed in 1961.
Do you think they were excited? Like,
yeah, they're like, hey, buddy.
Reunited, and it feels so good to be doing crimes again in prison. Wow.
It's actually funny you mentioned that because, like, not only, like, because the brothers, like, hello, reunited, but the brothers recognized Morris from other stints in prison in states of, like, Georgia and Florida.
It's like a little reunion.
They were like, hey, man, I recognize you. We did time in Florida together.
You want to blow this joint? Let's do it.
So they're like, hey, man, we're friends. And so they actually ended up requesting that they all get adjoining cells together because they wanted to be close.
I mean, it's kind of funny that they're like first allowed to go to prison together as brothers, and then they're allowed to like request rooms like it's a dormitory or something.
Right. Yes. There's like little funny tidbits about Alcatraz where I'm like, really? The scariest prison on earth? Like, you'll hear more.
Okay. They're like besties, gotta be together.
Yeah. So I was really surprised that like they were able to do that.
Yeah.
So now they're all together hanging out in prison.
Probably building like blanket forts in there.
Frank Morris was known for being really smart. He was actually tested for his IQ, and he was scored at 133.
Wow.
Which I believe is really high.
I mean,
it's impressive.
Does it go up to 200? I don't remember what. Michael, use your double monitor.
133 is the top 2% of the general
Oh,
population.
wow. Shit.
Yes. Good fact that I did not remember to put in my thing. So, yes. So,
Top
I mean, very
2%.
impressive. He's a smarty.
Wait, then how high does the IQ? Definitely not 200. That was a stupid guess. Must be like...
Your IQ must be low.
Yeah. Mine's like 4. I bet it's... What do you think? 135? What do you think it goes up to?
150?
145.
145.
Low score 61.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
But then it says the highest IQ ever recorded is 228.
I'm confused.
Maybe in this case, Bing is not the most reliable.
Like, it was
search
God. He was the one with 228.
engine. Who knows?
Interesting.
Anyways, but he was very smart.
Just smarty pants.
Yes. So he was most likely like the whole brains of this operation, and the brothers would help execute it.
Yeah, Clarence was the looks.
Sure.
What was the other one? John. So
John was just the builder.
he's like the muscle.
He's the muscle. He's sure.
The other one's like the computer hacker guy that's always behind the monitor.
Right.
Yeah,
Matrixing it up.
definitely. He's
Smarty.
Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means you're Clarence and I'm the muscle.
Okay. So they would take at least 6 months to complete their plan. And this is what we know about it. Alcatraz was very expensive to upkeep. The building was already falling apart at that time, and it was working in their favor because the first thing that they had to do was create a hole to escape out of their cells, and the walls were crumbling and kind of getting soft, so it was kind of easier to do that.
You're like constantly in moisture in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly. And it's just too expensive to keep it up, and I get it because all that fog and moisture is abound.
Moisture's abound.
Okay. So the first thing, they had to do was escape the cells, and they did that by drilling small holes around the metal grate under their sinks. How, you may be asking yourself, did they obtain a drill?
I was wondering.
Well, they made one.
Oh. Okay.
By taking the motor out of a broken vacuum cleaner and somehow attached metal spoons to it. But then you might be asking yourself, but what about the sound of drilling? How did they get away with that? Well, this is one of the funny tidbits I was alluding to. Alcatraz being Alcatraz, you wouldn't think that they would consider music to be so important.
You're right. I wouldn't.
Right. But they had a music hour.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it was every day or every week. I never got that far into knowing it, but they definitely prioritized a music hour.
Like live music or like...
I think they would play music. I think a lot of inmates would play instruments like guitars and stuff like that. So, it was the hour you can make noise and sing and dance.
Cute. I love that for them.
Yeah, they deserve it.
You know what? You need a little time to let loose.
Everyone needs to dance. Okay. So obviously that's during that 1 hour of time, they would drill holes and as many holes as they can.
Okay.
And they probably did that for so long until they were done.
Gotcha. Oh, that means I missed music hour. Sad.
I'm sure they were still enjoying themselves. Okay. Once they were able to kick out the grill, they had access to a 3-foot or nearly 1 meter wide corridor that was unguarded. Oh. They would grab any large items or to cover the drilled out area under the sink or use cardboard. They would then walk down the small corridor and climb up the pipes about 20 feet up or 6 meters to reach the roof of cell block B.
Climb the pipes?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So they were still inside the prison building, but then they found this small hidden area that was on top of their cell block that was unguarded and kind of private. So they made that little spot their workshop area, their little craft room. Over time, they would gather stolen and I'm having a hard time with words today. Stolen and donated materials. One really helpful donation was a bunch of raincoats that were given to to the prison from the U.S. Army, which is, I think it's funny. It's from the U.S. Army.
That is hilarious.
Because then they contributed to this.
You would think that somebody would notice a bunch of stuff like that going missing. Like,
I think a lot of other inmates were involved, and if they're sneaky, they're sneaky.
yeah, that's interesting. Like how they kept a lid on it with so many people. I don't know. Knowing little bits about it, like that they didn't get ratted out. That's crazy.
Sure. Okay, so the men were able to collect over 50 raincoats.
Wow.
Which was the only waterproof material around. So without that donation, this escape wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, because they had to build a boat, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
So they would take those coats and they would stitch them together.
Wow.
And they made themselves not only like life vests, but then a huge, large raft that they were all going to sit in.
Shoot. That's so intense.
These guys not only stitched it, but they vulcanized the coats together with the hot pipes and steam to secure the seal.
Wow.
That's smart.
Yeah, they're like Martha Stewart, like prison style. Oh, wait, she also went to prison. They're just regular Martha Stewart.
But man, I mean, I'm impressed.
That is very impressive. Very like, wow, just kind of jack of all trades type dudes.
Yes. So these guys aren't playing games. They are clever as hell and they're artsy as fuck.
Gold stars.
Gold stars to them. Okay, so before I kind of go into the actual night of the escape, I figured this might be a good break time.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the night is June 11th, 1962.
Okay.
It's finally time to escape.
Woohoo!
So there was actually a fourth guy involved this entire time, and his name was Alan West.
Okay.
He absolutely helped execute their plan, but the night before the planned escape, he thought it would be smart to use wet concrete to keep the metal grill in place,
Okay.
which then dried overnight.
Oh.
And he literally accidentally fixed what he was drilling.
I'm trying to think of like what, in like the stereotypical like bank heist movie where there's always the entourage or like the team they put together. Trying to think of which one he would be. Maybe the charisma guy who's not really that smart.
He's not that smart if he did that. And
Yikes.
so he's the guy that gets left behind.
So where were the other three guys? Like, did they make their own holes? I'm confused.
So they were all able to drill holes, and the other three men didn't use wet concrete to like keep it up.
Like literally the night before. What were you doing the entire time before that? Like why the night before?
Right. I think maybe he was the last one to be able to drill holes. I think they had to take turns. I'm not sure.
He's like, I'm new to this. I don't know the
he
rules.
was like the last one, and so he was like, "Oh no, I accidentally fixed it, and I can't get out." And they're like, "Okay, well, that was
maybe
your
he
bad."
just like kind of chickened out at the end, and he's like, "Oh no,
I don't know,
oh no, I can't get it out."
but it's a stupid move.
If he wasn't planning that, yikes, yikes!
Like how embarrassing for you.
I'm so embarrassed for you.
Right. So yes, all three guys were left behind and realized that he was now stuck in his cell. So they're like, "Sorry, we're continuing the plan here."
Yeah, because like concrete did what concrete does. That's its whole job.
Exactly.
Wow.
What did you think? It wasn't going to dry? Very confused. So Morris and the England brothers climb up the pipes and gather up their raft and life jackets. Then they had to climb an additional 30 feet or 9 meters up the pipes to reach the outside roof of the prison.
How do they climb up a pipe?
I don't know, but that's like heavy raincoat gear.
Yeah, and they're dragging this boat thing. Like, wow.
They reached a vent where they were able to pry open, and so that's how they reached the roof.
Okay.
Once on the roof, they descended down 50 feet or nearly 15 meters on a kitchen vent pipe all the way down to the ground.
Did you say what time they were doing this at? Is it nighttime?
It's night.
Okay.
Yes. I think they did like the last head count for the night, and then they were like, okay, we're going to bounce.
Wow. Can you imagine getting into the ocean in the middle of the night?
That's scary. That's ballsy.
I mean, this whole thing is terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it takes balls.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Okay. So then they somehow were able to climb up not one, but 12 feet or 3.6 meter high barbed wire fences.
Wow. This is crazy.
I don't know how they do this, especially with carrying all that gear that they made. And also, don't ask me about the guards because I don't know how they didn't notice this.
Right.
I think like there's all sorts of excuses, like they were understaffed, or the one guard was on the other side of the prison.
Sure.
Or they were like in this blind spot area of the guards, and so that's why they were never caught outside.
I bet the guards. I mean, they're probably
It also probably really loud out there with the waves.
With the waves, it would probably mask a lot of the sound, and they're like, "Who would be so crazy as to try to
escape?
They'll just die anyway." Like, yeah,
Sure.
It's just not a. I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, these guys are doing it.
Yeah.
So when they got near the shore, this is when they get an accordion out.
Not music night.
I'm sure it's manipulated in a way where it doesn't make sound, I'm hoping. I'm not sure about that part. But they made it into an air pump.
Okay, I kind of wish it did make sound, though.
Can you imagine? Because it probably did take a while to pump up that big.
Right.
I should have gotten the size of the raft. You want to look up the size of the raft? I think it's like 6 by 14. It's like a big raft.
Wow.
I mean, it was supposed to be made for 4 men.
Yeah. And
grown men.
They made an inflatable boat. That's crazy.
So, I mean, yeah, I probably took a lot of time to pump it up with the vest, too. It's not just the raft, it's the vest.
Oh, the vests. That's right.
They're trying to be safe with their life vests.
They thought of everything.
Yes, they really honestly kind of did. Okay, so they're pumping up the raft. It was estimated, here's the kind of time. It was estimated that it was around or slightly after 10 p.m. that night. And that's when they officially probably got into the water.
Okay. Did you find the boat, Michael?
No, but I think that's probably because they only ever recovered shreds of it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Sure, I guess, yeah, you're right. So I guess it was a guesstimate.
Yeah, if they didn't have the boat and
that makes sense.
The dudes
I'm
didn't
just
live.
like making it up in my head. Sorry.
Okay.
That's
a good estimate.
I mean, I guess it was for 4 men. So
Yeah.
I guess we can think of it that way.
Yeah.
Which is still very big.
And knowing how many rain jackets they had would probably also help.
Sure. Yeah. So still as of today, it is a mystery it is a mystery as if the men were ever able to make it to shore, if they survived or if they drowned in the water.
Okay.
So the next morning, during the morning head count, the guards didn't even notice the men were missing at first because these crafty bitches made paper mache heads.
I've seen these heads. Okay, that's ringing a bell.
Yes.
They're creepy as fuck if I remember.
They're kind of creepy.
Did they draw little faces on them?
They really went in on these heads, okay?
They were clearly into arts and crafts.
This was their main project. They really went into the details. So they placed their heads on the beds to make it look like they were sleeping. Oh, yes. So this bought them more time to get away before they even started searching for them. Mm-hmm. So it's clever to think of these things, too. These heads were made out of paper, soap, toothpaste, and concrete dust.
Yeah, it's like prison paper mache.
Yeah. They were also able to obtain like skin color paint from like a little like art room that they had. And they also went as far as to collect hair clippings from the prison barber shop.
That's the part I remember. They had like real hair on these.
Real hair. So they made it look like it had
What?
Sorry.
Did you find?
Yeah, I found the raft size.
Oh my God.
It's 6 by 14.
Wait.
Foot.
I think
Is that
that's
what
right.
you said?
Yeah. It's like I researched it a little bit.
It's like you knew.
Well, maybe if I just listened, I would have.
Well, I wasn't sure. I really wanted to be sure. So
You're sure?
thank you for
That's
helping.
a big boat,
Yeah.
I would think. I mean,
Thank you, Michael.
yeah, good job.
Again, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Stop your story.
You're fired.
I found the size of the raft that you were pretty sure you knew.
Wow, so
Okay.
really utilizing their arts and craft skills. I bet the warden was just like, I was just trying to do something nice for these guys. Look how they repay me. No more music night.
No more music night. Yes. So not only did they put the hair like on the head to make a head of hair, they also shaped the brows, and they gave it
On fleek.
They also gave themselves luscious lashes. Wow, I'm not doing myself any favors.
That's a hard one. Luscious
lashes.
Beautiful.
I even think they even took like maybe like pink paint or some sort of rouge to put on the cheeks.
Like, oh, they're sleeping. Look how
Oh, they
beautiful
look a
and
little too
peaceful they
pale.
are.
Let's put some blush on them.
As if like if anyone got close enough to see the blush that they wouldn't realize.
Like mostly covered up by a blanket. Yeah. So I guess once the guards realized that they were not moving in their beds, the guard decided to poke one of the heads through the bars, and that head ended up rolling off the bed and falling onto the floor.
That was probably like a real oh shit moment. Like, did I just poke his head off or
Right? And I think like the nose fell off at that point. So you do see like the damage from the fall from the guard poking it. So yeah, they immediately realized, oh shit, these guys are gone. And they're like, FBI, come help our asses. Let's do this. So the FBI and other law enforcement agencies began a very extensive search for the next 10 days, searching via air, land, and sea.
wow.
We also know a ton of these details of the planned escape because of Alan West. He was completely fine on snitching on all of these guys. He's like, I didn't get to go out, so I'm telling all the...
It's like they ditched me and it was not my fault at all.
Exactly. So he fully cooperated in the investigation in return for not being charged with any of his participation in the plan.
Okay. It's a little self-preservation.
Right. He didn't make it out anyways, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He probably would have been in for longer maybe if he...
yeah, they were probably like at it for sure. Okay. So he also told them, Alan West, that the plan, if they were to reach shore, the next steps were to be to steal a car and to change their clothes to continue on their escape. However, the FBI never found evidence of any like nearby car thefts that night. So 2 days into the search, one of the makeshift life jackets was found washed up on a nearby shore. They also found a paddle. They made paddles for themselves out of plywood that they like nailed together.
Yeah, you would definitely need paddles.
That was just floating in the water, as well as a bag filled with personal letters and pictures of the England family.
Oh.
So it definitely belonged to one of the brothers.
Ooh, that doesn't bode well, I feel like.
No other further evidence ever surfaced, and the bodies of the three men have never been found.
Ooh.
And I believe that's the FBI's main reason why they think they drowned, because of that bag of
Yeah.
letters and pictures.
Because if you cared about it enough to take it
bring
with
it.
you.
But then maybe they just lost it.
That's true. It could have just gone overboard, or maybe the boat started to sink and they couldn't swim with the extra weight.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So anything's possible.
Yeah, I could see either side.
For
But
sure.
having no car thefts in the area.
Well, I'll kind of also get to that later.
Okay.
Now, some people might think, that swimming from Alcatraz to the nearby shore is near impossible, but this is untrue. It turns out that 6 months later, December of 1962, an inmate named John Scott ended up escaping Alcatraz. He actually made himself arm floaties.
That's adorable.
Like a
Why
little
are all
kid.
these prison escapees the cutest escapees? Like arts
Can't
and
help but,
crafts.
like, root for them. Like, oh, honey, sweetie, I love this.
That's adorable.
The little arm floaties, and these were made by inflating rubber gloves together.
Wow. The ingenuity.
Right, the thought process.
You know what? You're allowed to escape. You really tried. You tried so hard. I think you get to be allowed.
This poor guy.
Unless you're like a terrible, awful.
Yeah, unless he actually murders somebody.
You're like rapist, murderer, you should stay in. But
then
you know,
then
if
we're
you're
not
just,
rooting
like,
for you.
robbing a bank, I'll let you leave.
Yeah, that's why I feel like everyone's kind of like rooting for the possibility these guys made it,
Yeah.
because they never really hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And just the cleverness, it's like, wow, I hope they live their lives.
Yeah. Go work for NASA or something. Like, just turn it around, you know?
Right.
John Paul Scott actually has a really great mugshot.
Is he the hot one?
Oh,
The one who swam.
the one who actually swam.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That squinty look.
Yeah, he should be proud of himself. He actually made it to shore, right under the Golden Gate Bridge, known as Fort Point. However, he barely made it. He was suffering from severe hypothermia.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's a really cold ocean.
Yes, and a group of rowdy teens noticed him.
The youths.
You got to be scared of the teens, man.
Yeah, I don't want. If I see a group of teenagers approaching me ever, I think I'd be very scared.
Yeah, no, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
When Chad and I decide to go to the mall on occasion, there's always a group of teens somewhere, and we're always like mumbling to each other, like, "Oh my god, there's a group of teens. They're gonna be in the way. Oh my god, there's almost so many hormones. Oh my god, let's get away from the group of teens." And
Please don't make fun of anything I'm wearing.
they're always kind of like in the way because they're not aware of their surroundings.
No.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, these teens,
These teens.
teens are too teenagery."
Don't talk to me. I'm fragile.
So, I mean, I guess these teens were doing the right thing because they saw a man suffering from hypothermia. And we're like, uh-oh. So they called the police, and he was sent to the hospital to recover. Mm-hmm. And then he was returned right back to Alcatraz.
Damn. I'm like, can I just have like a day on the beach, you know, just to enjoy my escape?
Just one day at the fairgrounds, please.
Yeah, can I just get a corn dog like before I go back?
Some cotton candy.
That sucks. You're like, damn you youths, just give me a
Right.
warm bath or something.
So, yes. So, because he was caught and returned, I guess the FBI doesn't count that. But, you know, technically he did escape.
They don't count it?
No, like, because they say no one has ever successfly escaped.
Well, he did
But he did.
successfully escape. He
I
just
know.
got caught.
They're just not admitting it.
They're embarrassed.
They're embarrassed. Also, nowadays, literally all the time nowadays, there are two different triathlons that happen every year for people who dare. They swim the exact route starting from Alcatraz Island to the Fort Point area under the bridge.
I've heard of that, and that's so crazy to me.
It's entirely doable. However, it is very difficult.
Yeah.
And people are crazy for doing that.
I mean, yeah, but people who are like training to do that.
Yeah, like they're athletes.
Yeah.
Like they train for this.
I couldn't do that. Like a normal person couldn't do that. So
It's also, I guess there's some, depending on your sources, I guess, but these guys were also, they said they were made to be great swimmers. Like they were grown up in like by the lakes of like Lake Michigan. So they would go in there when it was freezing and they were able to like handle it. And so they were like really strong men who were able to like really swim.
okay, so they did have some swimming background.
So, I mean, I guess that's another point. Maybe they made it. But yeah, there's that tidbit. The FBI quickly concluded that with this evidence found, all three men likely drowned before reaching the shore. They did end up doing a very long and thorough investigation on every possible lead over the next 17 years.
wow, that's a long time.
On December 31st, 1979, the FBI officially closed their investigation on this. No valid evidence of any of them being alive ever came to light over those years. They handed over the case to the U.S. Marshal Service, who actually continues to keep their investigation open as of today. Just in case.
They would totally be dead by now, though, I would think.
Yes. So my next little thing is, I mean, at best, they would be in their late 90s at this point if they grew to be old. I mean, so even if they did escape and live, but like, I don't know if they would live this long.
No, well, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe one of them.
Every once in a while, a really spiteful person lives that long. But like, I feel like when you're living a life that hard, there's probably not a good chance you're going to live to be in your 90s. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
You know, they're probably drinking and smoking.
I hope so. Alcatraz was officially ordered to shut down their operations in March of 1963 by the Attorney General at that time.
So that's only like, what, a couple years later? Or
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And that was Robert F. Kennedy
Oh.
who shut it down.
Shut it down.
He shut that down. Okay, so here are some of the possible claims and possible sightings
Okay.
of these men. Okay, so family members of the England brothers, mainly their mom, would receive mysterious cards and flowers. As early as December of 1962, it was 6 months after they, I guess, escaped. She received a Christmas card saying, "To Mother from John, Merry Christmas."
What?
She would also receive cards occasionally over the years, mostly unsigned, and some of them were signed with the names Jerry and Joe. Maybe like secret names,
Weird.
but it's weird.
Because that's not either of...
It's not their names, but if he used his real name the first time, why would they all of a sudden change their names to be like, oh?
I don't know. There's also people are just so fucking weird.
Honestly, sadly, I kind of lean that way too, is that people, like, once this became news, that they messed with them.
Yeah.
Because people are fucked up.
Yeah, and it's such a big story. I could totally see someone
wanting
that.
to, like, kind of leave clues. Like,
Yeah.
people are crazy.
They really are.
So, I mean, who knows? But there's also that.
Okay.
However, this is interesting. She also received flowers anonymously every single Mother's Day till the day she died in 1973. When her funeral was held, people noticed two unusual, quote-unquote, women who were tall and wearing very heavy makeup.
Rouge. Luscious lashes, perhaps.
Apparently, they attended her service, but then quickly left.
Huh.
So...
That would be so like them to dress up.
Right. However, then I kind of like, well, they had so many kids. Maybe one of the siblings like couldn't bear to see their mom so upset. Maybe she was upset. Maybe they did it. I don't know. But it is intriguing that somebody anonymously sent her flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just one of those details where you're like,
Maybe.
what does that mean?
It could be
Could
anything.
be anything. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe she was just hot and somebody liked her. I don't know.
Secret
But
admirer.
It's on Mother's Day, though, so that would be kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody just felt really bad that her two sons died. They just
Also, maybe true.
wanted to send her flowers. I don't know.
Who knows? Then in 1989, it was reported that Robert Englund, one of the other 12 siblings of the brothers, at the funeral of their father, there was two men with large beards that came to the service who wept at the casket and then quickly walked out.
I'm not laughing because of the service. I'm just laughing imagining these two brothers showing up to various funerals in different disguises.
Right. Trying to be like disguised, but then this is like their 12 siblings. Like, so how do you maybe not like recognize them? And it's just kind of a funny little thought.
And they show up together. It's like not separate, but together.
Right.
And I'm just imagining those like thick black glasses with the fake nose and mustache. Like they just wear those.
Right. Yeah. I get what you mean. In 1975, a family friend of the Englund brothers named Fred Breezy claimed to have run...
Keep it breezy.
Keep it breezy. Claimed to have run into the brothers in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay.
He produced a photo that he took of them standing next to a termite mound. Both men are wearing sunglasses, however. So it is just too hard to tell if these men are actually them.
It's just two dudes.
But
okay.
he claims it's them.
All right.
Whatever, dude.
Sure.
I'll post that photo in question on our social medias as well.
Okay.
You can try and take a look at it.
Their third disguise.
Right.
Okay.
This sighting does, however, coincide with a rumor that was started back in 1965 that the men had escaped to Brazil. So that's odd. But then if it was also a rumor back then, maybe it was already heard of.
Yeah, and then the friend was just like,
I want the fame.
Yeah, that would just be so random of all places on some random trip to run into them. Like,
right? Like, you don't run into people in another country even regularly. Like, I mean, I guess who knows?
It could happen, I guess, but that just seems very against the odds.
I just ran into you in Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know what you mean. Okay, so there has been a handful of reported sightings of the men, either in Florida, Georgia, Maryland, and as we talked, Brazil. There was even a very detailed death confession by a man named John Leroy Kelly.
Love a deathbed confession.
Now, this is quite interesting. In 1993, John Kelly kept repeating this very detailed confession to his nurse. He's on his dying deathbed, and he's saying this repeated story with the same details over and over. So it like... she felt obligated to then like, this is too weird. I'm going to write this down.
Sure.
And if this story is true, this is like the most bummery outcome out of all the theories.
Oh.
And I really hope it's not true.
Wait, how was this guy connected? Did you say he...
I mean, I'll tell you his story.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if
I'll
you already
get
said
there.
it. I wasn't sure if you said I missed it.
This is what he says.
Okay.
On his deathbed, which is so interesting. I want to know all the deathbed confessions.
That would be
I just want a book of deathbed confessions.
I know.
So juicy.
I wish everyone was obligated to give one. It's a rite of passage.
You can't die until you say a secret.
Say your juiciest, darkest secret, and then you're like, R.I.P. Bye.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so this guy claimed that he and his partner were instructed to pick up the men via boat on the bay. Their plan was to take them to Seattle, Washington, and eventually get them into Canada. The three men somehow had connections or family members bring them money, some sort of, I mean, it's kind of like, it has to be a lot of people involved. So that makes me like, what, like how many people were involved? Like how likely is this?
Yeah, because like wouldn't someone spill at some point?
I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, so I'll continue.
Okay.
Okay. So instead of fulfilling that plan, John Kelly and his partner ended up taking advantage of them. And they said, let's shoot these guys, kill them, take their 40 grand of cash on hand.
Wait, who had 40 grand?
The men.
Okay.
It was their escape money.
Okay.
So they like got money from whatever connections they had who helped them escape, or from their family members over time.
Okay.
I guess they had money to escape
So
because
much
people
money.
were helping with the escape, which I just don't know how you would get that many people involved.
Or like not have anyone guards notice that much money coming through. I feel like they check the mail. Like they don't just give it to you.
No, I think they got this money after they escaped.
Oh. Okay.
Not like while they were in jail.
Oh, I thought you meant they took it with them. I was like,
No.
damn. How did they
No, like
get that
they
much money?
escaped with the dudes on the boat.
'Kay.
They got somewhere. They collected their money
I see,
from
I
whatever family members wanted to rescue them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's possible they had mob connections. I don't know. I'm just telling you this part of the story.
Sure.
But that was their plan. They had cash. These guys were like, let's not fulfill the plan. Kill them for their cash.
Sure.
And that would suck.
That would suck after all of that work.
Right? Like they actually, if they actually committed the most crazy escape of all time, and then just to get murdered.
Right.
Oh, I hate that.
That would be awful.
So this guy is claiming that they shot them in the truck and then buried their bodies in a rural area in the woods in Seattle or in Washington somewhere.
Oh.
Interestingly enough, an off-duty police officer was out driving around 1 a.m. in the morning the night of the escape, and he claims that he did see an illegal boat floating in the bay that night.
Oh.
So that's interesting when other people connect other clues, but then I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your motive there.
Yeah.
Because it really, at this point, was like national news, right? You'd think.
Yeah.
Papers. In the papers.
Papers.
Escapees from Alcatraz. That's big news.
Yeah. Wait, whose motive are you confused on?
Just people coming out with, oh, well, I saw this boat.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Like people just wanting to be connected to the story.
Yeah, it's like they add on to like somebody else's story to kind of make it convincing.
Yeah.
But
And like
it's-
even if there was a boat, it could be there for any number of reasons. Like
I mean, he said it was an illegal boat, so I'm not sure if like, you know, casual people can just boat in that area. But I don't know. I am very skeptical of these claims, actually, is what I'm coming off as.
yeah, I think I'm with you on the skepticism. Just because none of these claims yet have had a whole lot of hard evidence or proof. They're
Exactly.
just saying something that happened.
And I think it was just such big news at the time that like I can see people wanting to be a part of it.
Definitely. There always is.
It's I mean, it's a huge mystery, so like why not?
Yeah.
I guess if you're crazy enough. Okay. Investigators also had to follow up with that lead and actually found we're talking about the John Kelly story still. So he told them and described the area that they buried the bodies.
okay.
Apparently they left some paint or like nailed horseshoes on trees. They put like markings. I don't know why.
Yeah, that would be dumb if you're trying to hide a body, but
Right.
okay.
But he is describing these markings, and then the investigators go to that spot and they find evidence of those markings, which is really weird. Yeah.
But no bodies?
It was so many years later. I think a lot of the ground shifted because there's a lot of movement in California with the earth.
Sure.
With dirt. No, with the earth. Yeah. So no, I mean, they did try to dig that up and they found no human remains. So
Interesting.
yeah, we still don't have their bodies, dead or alive.
Interesting.
So this was, that part was dismissed because like if you don't find remains, then you're like, how good is the story? And then they also dismissed the officer claims of the boat. They're like, it's not really checking out. So they were just like, nah.
Okay, so back to square one, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so on the contrary to the FBI's findings, I guess in 2011, there's a documentary titled "Vanished from Alcatraz." I did not watch this. I don't think I could. I think I tried. But apparently they claim in that documentary that they did find a raft that washed up on Angel Island with footprints leading away from it, and that this was found the day after the escape.
Oh.
Also,
Angel Island.
Yeah, I think it's just like another little rocky area.
Yeah.
They could have made it to.
Okay.
Also, that a 1955 blue Chevrolet was reported stolen in Marin County, which is pretty close to San Francisco, I believe.
Oh.
And that a motorist reported being run off the road by a blue Chevrolet with 3 men inside it. So there's that. Lastly, in 2013, the San Francisco Police Department received a letter supposedly written from John Anglin himself.
Okay.
So the FBI did later confirm in 2018 that this letter does exist,
Okay.
but we can't confirm if it's from John.
Sure.
But this is what is said in the letter, generally. It's explaining that Frank Morris ended up dying in October of 2008, that Clarence had died back in 2011, and that he was writing to them because he was pleading for medical help for his cancer diagnosis in exchange for his surrender. How do you feel?
I'm confused because
Tell me.
he wants help for his cancer that assuming he had to have already been diagnosed by a doctor. So,
And this is 2013.
yeah. So it's not like he
He's old as
hasn't
fuck.
been to the doc. Like, what is he saying? He's using a fake identity. Like, why would the government? I'm so confused.
Right. I mean, what I'm confused is that at this time he's like old as fuck.
Yeah,
so
old.
So why would you out yourself because you want cancer treatment
when you're in your 90s.
But then yeah, right? I'm sorry, but you're going to die really soon anyways. I'm sorry.
I am so sorry, but like,
So like, why would you want to go through cancer treatment? So that's where I'm like,
well, normally, like sadly, I think when you get up to that age, a lot of treatments aren't really available for you because you probably couldn't withstand it.
right.
So
So it's confusing. I mean, so I guess it's kind of convincing in that sense. But I mean, if he was younger, if it was an earlier letter, maybe I would be like, that was totally him. But because it was received in 2013,
I just feel like that's somebody that's bored and watched a documentary and was like, let's have a good time.
right? And if it was real, I feel like something would have come out of it, and nothing came out of it.
But if it was real, then that means like, did they all just live out their days together as the three best friends that there ever could be?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it explained that they all survived because they all died of old age later. But yeah, it's weird. So that letter exists, but who knows if it's legit?
I don't believe that one.
I have a hard time too. I have a hard time.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for the 1962 Great Escape of Alcatraz.
That is such a interesting. I love speculating on that kind of stuff though. It's so interesting to me. Even if you look at the most likely thing that happened, which was they just never made it to shore, like just trying to imagine what they went through in those moments is really interesting. Like, did the boat capsize?
Sure.
Did
a shark come?
Yeah, did they get attacked by a shark?
Was it the cold?
Did they succumb to hypothermia? Did the boat spring a leak and they had to make a swim for it and didn't? But
there's also crazy currents.
Yeah, the currents. That's definitely a thing in that area.
Ocean's scary.
It's terrifying. Like, was it foggy? Did they get turned around and like row the wrong way? There's so many possibilities. That's what's really interesting to me is like what happened to them if they didn't make it to shore. Because like their bodies were never recovered. It's a big ocean. They could have just gone out to the sea, I guess.
Yes. I guess there was a body that was found in the sea later on, but it was never reported, so nobody could check the body. And they were like, oh, well, it could have been this guy who, sadly decided to jump off the bridge. So, I mean, I don't know. But then it's like the ocean. So if they drowned, did they drown to the bottom? Like, and that's why we can't find them because...
I mean, like, there's so many creatures in the sea. They just could have been eaten.
Sure.
Over time.
Easily.
So, I don't know.
You would think that we'd find more evidence of...
You think something
stuff,
washing up. Like, from them. Because, like, their bag washed up and, like, a life jacket washed up.
Yeah.
But nothing from the actual men. Which is interesting. Like, none of their clothes. Or maybe it did and just nobody realized what they were looking at.
Maybe.
That's super possible. It could have washed up, like... It's not... If I'm thinking of the right place, it's not, like, a super touristy friendly... Like, isn't it really rocky and...
Alcatraz?
Well, I mean, like, the coast around Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Like, it could have just been caught in some rocks and just never found. I don't know.
Sure.
Who knows?
Do you guys hope that they escaped? Like, are you one of those that kind of wishes?
I kind of do hope they escaped. Like, in a whimsical world.
Yeah, because if I were them and we just successfully escaped, I would... I mean, maybe they did go to Brazil. And just live their life there.
Yeah,
but
in my rosy view of the world, they made it to Brazil, and then
I would go to Italy and just eat pasta for the rest of my life.
Then it's like, how the hell did they like do international travel? But like,
also that
fake
IDs,
they
fake
did,
names.
and then they're just like having Mai Tais together on the beach in their drag get up.
Yes.
Then they live out their days together. But
right,
how likely is that?
Pretty
slim. I think it's pretty slim, but
it could be pretty slim too.
It'd just be so cute if it happened.
I do root for them. I mean, no matter if they failed and drowned or not, they got out of that prison. They made those heads. They made that raft.
Teamwork made the dream work.
Wow. What a creative plan.
Also, like, their personalities, like, they have already shown that if they did escape, they would go right back to robbing banks, and they didn't do that. So,
exactly.
Like,
I think that's also another reason. Like, they would have to rob banks, or
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, or just do some like, off the books, work, but like,
sure,
for those kind of guys where they're like, I don't want to do that. I want to get some quick, easy money and have a thrill, it doesn't seem like they'd be the type to live out their
just
days.
change. But then you think, wow, we escaped that. That's so crazy. Maybe we should get our shit together. But you wish people thought logically like that.
But they escaped before and didn't have that
That's true.
mindset. So,
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah, I think it's unlikely, unfortunately. But man, those guys made history with that.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts.
They, you know what?
They did it.
They we're still talking about them. So
Exactly.
they
They're still part
succeeded
of
in some
history.
way.
Damn.
Wow. Good story.
Thank you.
That was really good. We haven't ever done like a prison escape story, but I
Not
love
really,
those
yeah.
kinds
Thank
of stories.
you.
I think they're so
I
fascinating.
thought this was really fun to do.
We could just even follow it up with all the hauntings in that prison. 'Cause
Exactly.
I know isn't it super haunted? Pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had like crazy, terrible, like solitary confinement
Yeah.
stuff there.
I mean, that place was not fun.
No.
I mean, even though they had music hour. But yeah.
Now they're missing their accordion. Rude.
Totally. There's something called like the Birdman of Alcatraz. I haven't really looked into that. I think that's a kind of a famous person case.
That's familiar.
Or like there's also a battle of Alcatraz. I think there was a big riot. I mean, there's a lot.
Well, isn't there like Native American history too?
Yes, I should have mentioned. I kind of feel a little bit bad, but
Like
I think there is there. I mean, obviously there is.
like it was their
history.
land, and we did that thing that we always do and stole
And took it. Yeah, yeah. And I think there's still. I think there was a period of time. I'll follow. Maybe I'll follow up on this little detail in
Like we gave it back, maybe.
a future, like your next episode or something. But
Sure.
I mean, I think they did try to like claim it back. I'm not sure if they were successful. But I know you can go on tours now.
Yeah, there's
You can tour
tours.
it.
There's tours.
I know that part. I'll follow up on that detail because I feel
Okay.
bad for not mentioning it. Actually,
Oh well. Sorry.
we'll do a mentions next time.
We'll actually have a little spot on our board for corrections
Yeah.
or other mentions. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, let's see. Let's move on to City of the Week.
That's our new song.
And this week, our City of the Week is Syracuse, Indiana. I hope I pronounced that right. Syracuse.
Yay, we see you. Thank you so much for listening.
You guys, hey over there in Indiana. Hope you're doing good.
That's like a new one, right? Indiana? We haven't really mentioned.
Yeah, there's been a newfound appreciation for our show in Indiana.
Love it.
So, hello.
Hi.
Keep it up. If you want to be our City of the Week, you have to binge, and you have to make your friends binge. You don't win anything except for our recognition.
Exactly.
Not even of you specifically, but just your area.
Just your area.
But
That's
hey,
all you get.
it's kind of fun.
I think it's fun.
I you know what? If
To
I was
see what-
binging and then they were like, "Hey, Oregon," and they said our city, I'd be like, "That was me. You're welcome."
Right.
Fun.
You're right.
Anyway, are you watching or listening to anything you would like to share with the class?
Yes. I have been getting through because I always love a good nostalgia moment, and I believe it's on Disney Plus and Hulu. Maybe I think I've seen it there too, but it's called Rewind to the 90s.
Oh, I think. Have I watched that?
And man, do I love documentaries about the 90s. I'm oddly all about them, even if they're bad ones.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I did live through that. It's kind of like a fun walk down memory lane.
I remember when that happened. I was 7.
The ripe old age of 7, so worldly.
So that's been fun. I like that.
Okay,
That's kind of.
I know there's like a true crime one. Is it not the true crime one? There's like,
Oh, the dark side of the 90s. I've also watched episodes of that, but not all of them. So I think that one's on Hulu.
okay,
Yeah, there's quite a few.
yeah.
I mean, if it says the 90s, I'm watching it.
Oh, interesting.
I'm one of those.
Wow,
Take me back to my childhood.
loyal to your decade.
I am. What about you?
Michael and I have been watching the reinvention of well, it used to be called At Midnight, but now it's called After Midnight, I think.
Oh.
With Taylor Tomlinson,
Oh, yeah.
which I
After
feel like
Colbert or something.
yeah, it was like marketed really weird. I thought it was going to be a talk show, but it's
That's
more
what
of
I
a
thought.
game show,
Right.
which is what it used to be with Chris Hardwick.
That's right.
And he got cancelled. I don't know what's up with him. Is he still canceled? I don't know what our culture is.
He's married to a Hearst, so he doesn't really care what you think of him. He's
To a Hearst?
doing fine.
He's doing fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure.
Hearst is the last time I did an episode and I was trying to like say that rich newspaper guy, it was Hearst.
Oh.
Randolph.
Dang.
William Randolph Hearst. Super rich. I'm sure they probably still are. Richer than God.
Question. Are you actually watching it live when it's after midnight?
No. We're old and
Thank
we have a
God.
child.
I was thoroughly like, oh my God, they're so cool and they're staying up after midnight.
Oh my God. I'm like, is it 11:30? It is past my bedtime.
Oh my gosh.
Because our child wakes up at an ungodly hour now. So we have to be awake, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ryland's been waking up early too. And
Okay, but what is early for you?
8?
Okay. Theo wakes up at like 7 these days. And I'm just like, I can't even sleep in ever.
Oh,
But
sorry.
it's fine.
You'll get through it.
I know one of these days he's going to be a stinky teenager and he's going to sleep until noon. And I'm going to be like, why are you still asleep? Yeah. So that's what we've been watching.
Nice.
It's not super exciting, but I do like Taylor Tomlinson. I think her stand-up is really good. Have you watched any of it?
No, but I mean, obviously she's making her way up, so I'm proud of her.
Yes. Women supporting women. We love her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I don't have anything else to talk about.
Me either, man. I hope this was a good one and y'all enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it very much.
I was here.
Michael was here. He got to
Matrixing.
matrix his way through a few Googles.
You did a good job.
We thank you for your
Oh,
service.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Your purchase is now warranted.
I could Google so quick.
Okay, Shawna, you have to say the thing. Oh, wait, or do I start it?
I think you do.
Oh, okay. Hey, good up.
A good night. All right, my credits used is wikipedia.com, FBI.gov, and My Favorite Murder Podcast, episode 214. Music is by Broke for Free and Matt Edwards, and we're edited by Michael.
All right, you guys, you know the drill. All right, Anxious and Afraid the Pod is our handle for both our Facebook page and the group, along with our Instagram and Gmail.
We're also on Twitter at AA the Pod.
You can support us at patreon.com/anxious and afraid. You get some cool perks, ad-free episodes. You get a release a day early. You get a sticker. You get a shout out.
We also have some cute, fun merch if you're interested in that. I always recommend buying a size up in men's. And you can find all of that listed in our episode notes and our website, which is really cute. And that's anxiousandafraid.com. Check it out.
You can also support us for free by leaving a rate and review. And please subscribe and tell your friends.